Hi guys, today I've given you an assignment where you're going to do a small investigation, graphing some parabolas using DESMOS. So I just want to quickly remind you, show you how to use DESMOS. So first thing that I want to show you is with this grid, if you want to make this a little bit more clear to see, one option is if you click on the wrench, which is our menu here for DESMOS. You can put this into projection mode. And when you do that, it just makes all the lines just a little bit darker and easier to see. To type in equation, you click on the box over here, and you're going to type in y equals x. And if we just graph our base parabola, then we would want y equals x squared. These are my tools here for the program I'm using to create this video. So if I close that, this is what you're going to see. And right here, there's a picture of a keyboard. And if you hit the arrow to open that, what you'll end up with is some math functions here that you can use. The one that we want is we want a square. So if I add that, okay, there is our parabola. You can click the little keyboard again to hide that. And then on your graph, if you click down, you can then drag that graph around so you can see what it is that you are looking at. From the exercise where we just graphed the parabola by hand, we can see a lot of the same things here. We can see that here is our vertex at 0, 0. It is opening up. And then lastly is that Y pattern. So again, from the vertex, if we come over 1, we can see that we go up 1. Always back to the vertex when we graph a parabola. If I go back to the vertex, if I go over 2 and square 2, you can see that we go up 4. And then if we go over 3 and we square 3, we would get 9. You can see we're up 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. If you actually click and hold down on the parabola, okay, you get a little button. You can move that dot around, so we can try to move it to the exact point. There. Try that again. There it is, our 0.39. Okay, so we can move that to wherever we want. If we get back to this point, 2, 4, and back to this point here, 1, 1. On the left-hand side, remember that we end up with that symmetry. So if I go to -1, we also go up 1. If I go to -2, get this here, there it is. At -2, we go up 4, and so on and so on. So the first thing I'm going to do in that exercise with you is get you to draw the base parabola. So there it is. Okay, so you can follow along in the video if you're having trouble. The next, I'm going to get you then to add some things to this equation so we can see what is that doing to that parabola. So I'm going to then type in y equals x squared. Okay, again, there's our squared. So y equals x squared. And then you're going to see in the exercise that there's going to be some numbers that follow. So I'm going to do something like, say, y equals x squared plus 3. And then in the investigation, I'm going to ask you, well, what did that plus 3 do to the parabola? As we can see here, it has moved it. So in the exercise, you're going to make some conclusions. Which way did it move this parabola and by how much? Here we can see that this has been moved up 3. The vertex was here, and now the vertex is here. I'm also going to get you to compare things like the direction. Notice that this here, the parabola is still opening up. And I'm going to get you to check out the y value. So now that the vertex is moved up here, we do this the same way, but now I count always from my vertex. So my y pattern over 1 is still up 1. If I go over from my vertex 2 spaces and count this out, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're still up 4. I'm going to have to slide this down just a little bit. If I go over 3, we'll see that we're still up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and there it is. We're still up 9 to get to that spot. Okay, so in the investigation, you're going to graph a couple of these and then see if you can make some sort of conclusion about this. The other type of equation you're going to be graphing in the investigation will have some brackets in there. So I'll show you that as well. Y equals, we're going to move that plus 3 inside a set of brackets. So something like this here. Close out the bracket. Okay, and then a squared is going to sit just outside of the bracket. So again, we need our functions here. Then I can type in squared, and then we can look at that parabola. Notice that they all are color coded for you so you can see which one is which. At any point, if there's too many parabolas on there, again, we're always going to want our base one on there so we can compare to that. You have two options. If you come over to the colored area here, if you click on that, okay, it will hide that, and you can click on it again to bring that graph back. Or if you're completely done with that graph, you can actually click on the X, and that will get rid of that equation completely. And then we can look at just this here and say, well, what happened to this one? And here we can see our vertex this time moved to the left 3 spaces. And then you can go ahead and check out the Y pattern. Did anything change with the Y pattern? Did the direction change? And the idea is to try and compare the graphs that we are now going to be creating back to this base graph to try and figure out what are these numbers doing? Which way are they moving the graph? Are they changing the shape or the direction about that graph? Hope the video helped. Okay, you can work through the exercise and then submit that, and we'll continue to work on this idea on Thursday this week as well. Have a good day, guys.